Shalom. Today I'm going to do a video called No Law, No Light. So you can see this is what the world is going to look like very shortly. This is what the world looks like in the eyes of the mighty creator Yahuah, because the law is out of the land. So there's so much gloom. Look at the skies, so much gloom. And look at these cities just broken and desolate. No law, no light. Let's go ahead and get into this message. Let's define darkness. The partial or total absence of light. Blackness, darkness, gloom, murkiness, shadow, wickedness, corruption, transgression, iniquity, hell, immorality. That's darkness, okay? No law, no light. There's going to be great darkness upon the earth. Light, brightness, luminous, shining. Okay, I know they would like to say the Illuminati is their new way, their new world. Well, once again, they're not the illumination, they are the darkness. But that's what they do best, is lie. Genesis 15:12, we're going to start at the beginning. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, horror of great darkness fell upon him. Well, what happened to Abram? Great darkness fell upon him. Here's the real scripture. Okay. And Yahuah said, know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated there. Okay. That's very dark. That's very gloomy. But let's take a deeper look. Let's go to Jubilees chapter 15. All right. And on verse 3 he says, Yahuah appeared to Abram and said to him, I am Yahuah the Almighty. Now approve thyself before me and be thou perfect. Okay. And this is that conversation continued. All right. Yes, there's a little bit given in Genesis. But what else happened? Well, the part about the ordinance of this law being blasphemed and not observed. That's what happened. And they didn't add that. And there's a reason why they didn't add that. Because they don't want you to know that the law is not done away with. The law is forever and always. So, now I announce unto thee that the children of Yahauh will not keep true of this ordinance. Let's read this a little quickly. They will not circumcise their sons according to all this law, for in the flesh of their circumcision they will omit this circumcision of their sons, and all of them, sons of B, will leave their sons uncircumcised as they were born. They're not going to circumcise their sons. They're not going to listen to the law of Yahuah. That was the covenant made with Abraham. That was the covenant of circumcision. That's a big deal. And there will be great wrath from Yahuah against the children of Yahauh, because they have forsaken his covenant and turned aside from his word, and provoked and blasphemed insomuch as they do not observe the ordinance of this law. And they've treated their members like the goyim, so that they may be removed and rooted out of the land. And there will no more be pardon or forgiveness unto them. Okay? They did not observe the ordinance of this law. That is why darkness and horror came upon Abram. And this is a big part of it, because they say the Mosaic law, the Old Testament law, is fulfilled in Christ. And believers are not bound to keep it in the same way that Yahauh did before Jesus. That's a really big stumbling block. That's a 3-4 billion people stumbling block right there. Now that we have this massive stumbling block and all of these tares rooted in the books, we have to tread lightly, and we have to have Hakmah to guide us. All right. Look at this. Where am I? Psalm 82, 5. The gods know nothing, they understand nothing, and they walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. the gods know nothing. They understand nothing, and they walk in darkness. All right? And Yahuah said to Moshe, stretch out your hand to the skies and let darkness descend on the land of Egypt, a darkness so dark that you can touch it. And Moshe stretched out his hand to the skies, and thick darkness descended on the land of Egypt for 3 days. Nobody could see anybody for 3 days. No one could so much as move, except for Yasharal, for they had the light where they were living. That's a message, loud and clear, from the Most High. Look at this. Is this why darkness came upon the land of Egypt? Look at their GODs. Wow. What a mess. What a mess, what a mess. Not good. Look at this. This is according to AI. Okay, and I did a little bit of research on this in the past as well. Yes, ancient Egypt and Yasharal, particularly northern, had associations with bulls and their worship. Okay? While ancient Egypt had the bull, G-O-D-A-P-I-S, Yasharal, especially in the northern kingdom, also adopted bull-like representations of their mighty one? Wait, what? This is evident in the story of the golden calf in the book of Exodus. Not good. Okay? The bull, G-O-D, APIS, was a significant deity in ancient Egypt, particularly in Memphis, and was often depicted as a bull. Okay, this right here. Okay. Yasharal in the northern kingdom sometimes depicted their mighty one with bull-like imagery, such as the golden calf. This is found in the book of Exodus and describes Yasharal's impatientness for Moshe's return, creating a golden calf and worshiping it as the mighty one who led them out of Egypt. Oh no. Bad move. Bad move. Egyptians, Canaanite religion practices. Oh no. With GODs like B-A-A-L. Not good, guys. So we know that that was a big no-no. Yahuah and fake GODs, and darkness comes. Give splendor to Yahuah the Almighty before he brings the darkness, before your feet stumble on the darkening hills. And you pray for light, but he will turn it to utter darkness and change it to deep gloom. That's not good. Wow. Give splendor to Yahuah before he brings darkness. Before your feet stumble on the darkening hills, and you pray for the light, but he turns it to utter darkness and changes it to deep gloom. That's a thick word. I had to read it twice. We're at Joel 2:31. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Yahuah. And we know that one. Jeremiah 23:12. Therefore their path will become slippery. They will be banished into darkness, and there they will fall. I will bring disaster on them in the year that they are punished, declares Yahuah. That's their visitation. Darkness is coming. Isaiah 8:22. Then they will look toward the earth and see only distress and darkness and fearful gloom, and they will be thrust into utter darkness. Wow. You guys know, like, little kids are afraid of the dark. There's a reason why. It's scary. The darkness is a scary place. The unknown. It's darkness. It's not good. It's where all the ugliness and the wickedness hang out. Ugliness and wickedness like to be hidden under their lies. Let's keep going. Isaiah 47:5. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Let's look at this a little bit deeper. Okay, we've got this right here. That's not a lady. They say it's a lady. That's not a lady. That's not a lady. Guys, look at that. Look at that neck. Okay, how many points does this thing have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know who else has 7 points? Let's check it out. What else pagan? Oh, this guy. This pagan one here called Baal. All right. This is Nimbus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, it looks a lot like the Lady Liberty. That's not really a lady, huh? Because it's the land of wicked, backwards, inside out destruction and darkness. It's everything disgusting and opposite of what the Creator is. This is not a lady. This is a man. Because they're the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. Check this out, guys. Do some research. The Lady of Kingdoms. Oh, man. Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call transgression and darkness and everything else good, and good, darkness and evil and transgression. Who put darkness for light and light for darkness. Who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That would be America. A lot of the world, but America, definitely. Top one that comes to my mind is America. Isaiah 5:30. In that day they will roar over it like the roaring of the sea, and if one looks at the land, there is only darkness and distress. Even the sun will be darkened by clouds. Okay? That's not going to be a good day. Isaiah 59:9. So justice is far from us. Righteousness does not reach us. We look for light, but all is darkness. For brightness, but we walk in deep shadows. Okay, let's break this down. Justice is far from us. Well, in the land of America, you're not gonna have justice. Because the system is rigged for the Freemasons. And those are the ugly old white guys. I mean, yes, you can be other nationalities, you can be young, but we know who's running the earth. And righteousness does not reach us. That's a sad place. You have to get under the throne, under the dome. We look for light, but all is darkness, and we walk in deep shadows. Lamentations, guys. Justice is far from us. Well, if you want justice, you have to leave the land of captivity. You know, being Goyim, even I was in captivity. Like, just, it wasn't fair. You know, they would tax and tax and tax my husband, and we could barely make it. We couldn't really make it. We've always lived a very humble life. We couldn't get on our own government assistance. We tried, but I don't know. Never worked out. Justice isn't there in America. They call darkness light and light darkness. What's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. If you break into someone's house and something went wrong and you had to go through the window and you ended up hurting yourself, you could sue them and probably win, because that's Sodom and Gomorrah, America. I've heard some strange stories. It ain't good, guys. It's not a good land. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. This thing is not going away until deep darkness comes. Deep darkness. Because the inhabitants of the world are not obeying the Torah. They are going further and further and further away. Oh man, guys, this thing is real. Okay, guys. Yahuah shall execute judgment upon the sons of men. Because when the rocks are being rent, what does that mean? When the rocks are being rent, breaking, volcanoes, earthquakes, the earth is being broken into pieces, and the sun quenched. What does quenched mean? And the waters dried up, and the fire cowering, and all creation troubled, and the invisible ruachs melting away, and Hades takes spoils through the visitations of the Most High. That's the torrents of B, and that's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. The torrents of B, and that is a bad, bad day for the inhabitants of the earth. And men will be unbelieving and persist in their iniquity, and on this account, with punishment shall they be judged. Quenched, extinguish, put out. So when the sun is being extinguished and the earth is breaking into pieces, you know that the time of judgment is coming. Okay, guys, we're going to look at this. This is the vision that Baruch had about the black waters and the bright waters. Okay? Baruch asks a further question about those who face woe and suffering in that time. And we know what that time is. In those days. We talked about what in those days is. It's the last generation days. So he falls asleep and has a vision of a cloud coming up from a great sea. The cloud flashes lightning and great water begins to pour out of it. The water alternates between black and bright, and finally pouring out a great amount of black water. Okay? And then finally pouring out a great amount of black water. The lightning grows in intensity and finally occupies the whole world. When he awakes, he asks Yahuah, what is this? Okay, what's the explanation of this dream? Well, the earth was going back and forth from transgression and darkness and iniquity back into purity and brightness and light. And let's see what this is about. The first black waters was when Adam first transgressed. The second bright waters was in Abraham and his generation, also the hope of the world which will be renewed by the covenant. Because it was Abraham and Yahuah that made that covenant. The third black waters was the transgression of the nation committed in Egypt. The fourth bright waters was the coming of Moshe, Aaron and Miriam, okay? That's because they brought the law. Moshe was the lawgiver. All right? The fifth black waters was the work of the Amorites, which polluted Yasharal in those days. Okay? The sixth bright waters was when David and Shlomo and the building of Zion. All right? That was the first building of Yahuah's house. That's a wonderful moment. That was bright. That was beautiful. Then the seventh black waters. The perversion of ideas in the rule of Jeroboam. That was a bad moment. Okay? The eighth bright waters. The righteousness and integrity of Hezekiah. Wow, that was a good story. He was righteous. He was bright. He shined with the Torah. The ninth black waters, the transgression of Manasseh. The 10th bright waters, the purity of the generation of Josiah, on account of Josiah's precious glories have been created and prepared. Okay. The 11th black waters, the disaster of the fall of Jerusalem. The 12th bright waters, the world which is to come, when Zion is rebuilt again, because it's the law. And the nations will honor Zion after the fall of many nations. Okay? Because it's Zion, it's the law. The law. Okay? Disobey the law comes back. Disobey the law comes back. Disobey the law comes back. This is a pattern. When the law is gone, there's darkness. And he was showing Baruch, this is dark. When the law is disobeyed and disregarded, whether it's Christianity, the law is done away with, the worst thing you could possibly do. For a fake name, a fake vision, a fake image, and just bad. It ain't good. The name itself is horrendous. The name Jesus doesn't match any of the ancient awesome names in the name of Yahuah. Alright, after the 12 waters, Baruch saw the last black waters, which were blacker than all the others. Okay? For the days are coming when the world has ripened and the harvest of the seed of the transgressors and the good ones have come. Okay? It is a time when the poor will outnumber the rich, when the wise are silent that the fools speak. The impious will be exalted over the brave. There will be war. Those who save themselves from the war will die in the earthquake. Okay, the rocks are being rent asunder. Those who save themselves from the earthquake will die of the fire. And those who save themselves from the fire will die in the famine. Bad day is coming. Very bad day. It's going to be the darkest waters. All right? All right. But what is going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, we know that darkness, the wicked ones, have a plan. But we know that Yahuah will not allow them to see their plan fully through, as they so desire. That's in the Proverbs. Look at this. What's going on here? Let's go up here. I'll show you where I'm at. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 13. This is the Mashiach coming. Let's go back down here. When they hear his voice, all the nations will leave their own territory, forget their wars with one another, and come together in one great crowd, too large to count, as you saw in your dream. The nations will unite with the single purpose of making war on the Mashiach. He will take his stand on the top of Mount Zion, because the law is returning. The new Jerusalem will be seen by everyone. It will be completed and fully built, just as in your dream you saw. The mountain carved out, but not by human hands. That's another message. Did you get that message? Then my son will condemn the assembled nations for their kadoshness. Sorry, kadoshlessness. That is what the storm meant. Okay? My son, the Mashiach, will condemn the assembled nations for their dark deeds. He will confront them with the wicked plans they made and also with the torments they must endure. That is what the flames meant. He will easily destroy them by means of the law. There we go. That's what the fire means. All right? So, you saw him gather another great crowd of peace-loving people. Those are the 10 sons of Yasharal who were taken away captive. Okay? And we know that they will be gathered after the Great Tribulation. We have got to get that. We have got to understand that gathering is going to be when the world looks like this. Where is it? Where's my video? Where is my picture? When the world looks like this. Okay? That's when Yahushua's coming back. There's not going to be a lot left of the world. Okay. Now, look at this. This is why. Because Yahushua is coming back. And the hosts of the Shamayim are coming down to wage war with the sons of darkness. Let's get into it. This is the war scroll. And I'm only going to read from 1 to 15. And I read a little fast, so definitely go back, revise, and reread. By all means, you have got to read this thing from top to bottom, inside and outside. Read it slowly, read it fast. Read it until you understand it. Hallelujah. For the instructor, the rule of the war, and I'm going to read this like I'm a narrator. Okay? Here we go. The first attack of the sons of light shall be undertaken against the forces of the sons of darkness, the army of B, the troops of Edom, Moab, and sons of Ammon, the Amalekites, the Philistines, and the troops of Chittim of Ashur. Supporting them are those who have violated the covenant. We've got to understand what that means. The sons of Levi, the sons of Yehudah, and the sons of Benjamin, those exiled to the wilderness, shall fight against them and against their troops. When the exiles of the sons of light return from the wilderness of the peoples to camp in the wilderness of Jerusalem, then after the battle they shall go up from that place. And the king of the Chittim shall enter into Egypt. In his time he shall go forth with great wrath to do battle against the kings of the north. And in his anger he shall set out to destroy and eliminate the strength of Yasharal. And then there shall be a time of salvation for the people of Yahuah, and a time of dominion for all of the men of his forces, and eternal annihilation for all the forces of B. There shall be great panic among the sons of Japheth. Assyria shall fall with no one to come to his aid, and the supremacy of Chittim shall cease, that wickedness be overcome without a remnant. There shall be no survivors of all the sons of darkness. Then the sons of righteousness shall shine to all the ends of the world, continuing to shine forth until end of the appointed seasons of darkness. Then at that time appointed by Yahuah, his great excellence shall shine from all the times of eternity. For shalom and baraching, splendor and majesty, long life for all the sons of light. On the day when Chittim falls, there shall be a battle and horrible carnage before Yahuah of Yasharal. For it is a day appointed by him from ancient times as a battle of annihilation. For the sons of darkness on that day, the congregation of the Gods and the congregation of men shall engage one another. And this is Malachim. Okay? These are the Malachim and men battling. They shall engage one another, resulting in great carnage. The sons of light and the forces of darkness shall fight together to show the strength of Yahuah, with the roar of a great multitude and the shout of Malachim and men, a day of distress. It is a time of distress for all the peoples who are redeemed by Yahuah. In all their afflictions none exists that it is like it, hastening to its completion as an eternal redemption. On the day of their battle against the Chittim, they shall go forth from carnage in battle. In 3 lots the sons of light shall stand firm, so as to strike a blow at wickedness. And in 3 the army of B shall strengthen themselves, so as to force the retreat of the forces of light. And when the banners of the infantry cause their hearts to melt, then the strength of Yahuah will strengthen the hearts of the sons of light. In the 7th lot, the great hand of Yahuah shall overcome B and all the Malachim of wickedness and his dominion, and all the men of his forces shall be destroyed forever. All right. That's what we see here. Okay, these are the sons of light coming to destroy the sons of darkness. Now, what happens when light overcomes the dark? Oops. Let's see here. Okay. Those exiled to the wilderness. I wanted to make a point, so let me back up. Okay. The sons of Ben. Okay, those exiled into the wilderness shall fight against them. Okay. So let me just start over. For the instructor, the rule of the war, the first attack of the sons of light shall be undertaken against the forces of the sons of darkness. The army of B and the troops of Edom, Moab, Ammon, the Amalekites, and the Philistines, and the troops of Chittim of Ashur. Supporting them are those who have violated the covenant. And then the sons of Levi and the sons of Yehudah and the sons of Benjamin and those exiled into the wilderness. What does exiled mean? It means expelled. Okay? That's what it means to be kicked out. That's what exiled means. So you want to be the one that's getting kicked out. That's what happened in the first Exodus. They were kicked out. Don't come back. You serve the mighty one that's destroying our gods and causing all this havoc on us. Get out. Go serve your mighty one in the wilderness. That's what's going to happen again. You're going to get kicked out. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. But what happens when the light begins to shine in the darkness? This is the Torah, shining in the darkness. Now we have light. The Mashiach has come. Proverbs 6:23. For this command is a lamp, this teaching is a light, and correction and instruction are the way to life. Hallelujah. The commandment is a lamp, and this teaching is a light. The teaching of Torah. Because it's returned. Isaiah 29:18. In that day the deaf will hear the words of the scroll, and out of the gloom and darkness the eyes of the blind will see. Fabulous. Well, are you gonna even survive the dark, gloomy days? Probably not. This is what's coming. Isaiah 60. Arise, shine, for your splendor has come, and the majesty of Yahuah rises upon you. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but Yahuah rises upon you, and his splendor appears over you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. Okay? Let's keep going. Lift up your eyes and look about you. All assemble and come to you. Your sons come from afar. Your daughters are carried on the hip. Then you will look and be radiant, and your heart will throb and swell with joy. The wealth on the seas will be brought to you. To you the riches of the nations will come, like all the stolen gold from Fort Knox. All of that stolen gold, that's going to be the inheritance of Yasharal. Herds of camels will cover your land, young camels in Midian and Ephah, and all from Sheba will come, bearing gold and incense, proclaiming the praises of Yahuah, not Christ. Because the scroll, your light has come. You are now under the scroll. You're under Mashiach. Okay, bringing your children from afar with their silver and gold. Okay? I totally skipped. Sorry, guys. And proclaiming the praises of Yahuah, all Kedar's flocks will be gathered to you. The rams of Nebaioth will serve you. They will be accepted as offerings on my altar, and I will adorn my splendorous temple house. The altar, okay, the mitzvah, and the house. So this is definitely not Christ, or any other religion for that matter. This is the return of the law and the Torah. Who are these that fly along like clouds, like doves to their nests? Surely the islands look to me, and the lead are the ships of Tarshish, bringing your children from afar, with their silver and gold to the honor of Yahuah, your mighty one, the Kadash one of Yasharal, for he has endowed you with splendor. Because you know the law now. Foreigners will rebuild your walls, and their kings will serve you. Though in anger I struck you, in favor I will show you compassion. Your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut day or night, so that people may bring you the wealth of the nations, their kings led in triumphal procession. For the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish and be utterly ruined. The splendor of Lebanon will come to you, the juniper, the fir, and the cypress together to adorn my sanctuary. I will magnify the place for my feet. The children of your oppressors will come bowing before you. All who despise you will bow down at your feet and will call you the city of Yahuah, Ziyun, the Kadash of Yasharal. Let's go ahead and stop there. That's a lot of good. That's wonderful. But that is after the tribulation and after the great darkness. That's when the law returns. Isaiah 42:6. I, Yahuah, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand, and I will keep you, and I will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the goyim. Okay? You will be a covenant for the people and light for the goyim. But that's if you are on his side. That's if you're obeying the law and teaching the law. And if you're a true servant and in position to get the law. If you're not even in position to get the law, you're not going to be around for this time. This amazing time. After the dark waters, after the darkness passes, after the seventh lot and the sons of light overcome the sons of darkness, if you don't get in position for the land to get the law and get in covenant, then you're not going to become his people. And you shouldn't be praying to his Kadosh, perfect, pure, ancient name, because you've forgotten it. If you're not going to obey every word that proceedeth from his mouth, we cannot pick and choose what words we're going to take and what words we're going to leave. Because the world is plunged into darkness right now. I'm not going to bring up the picture. The world is plunged into great darkness right now. The people are walking in darkness, but they have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Okay? Those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Okay? That's the land of the living. It's not the land of the dead anymore. It's the land of living. Well, what happens to Babylon? Well, she gets burned and destroyed. She's never to be inhabited again. So if you're going to be on that side of the fence, you probably I don't know. Exodus 34:34. When Moshe finished speaking with them, he put on a veil over his face. But when he went into the presence of Yahuah to speak with him, he removed the veil until he came out. When he came out and told the Yashral what he had been commanded, they would see Moshe's face. Its skin was glowing. Because it was so bright. Because the law and the words of Yahuah are so pure and bright that Moshe gleamed in light. His light shined. His face shined. Okay, where am I? Job 12. Okay. He reveals the deep things of darkness and brings utter darkness into the light. He makes nations great and destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them. He deprives the leaders of the earth of their reason. He makes them wander in a trackless waste. They grope in darkness with no light, and he makes them stagger like drunkards. That's where we are. That's exactly what's going on right now. Okay, Isaiah 60:19. The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you, for Yahuah will be your everlasting light, the Yahuah of your splendor. He will be your splendor. There will be no sun in the kingdom to come. There will be no sun or moon. No, Yahuah will be the light, because there won't be darkness. See, right now we're living in darkness, and then we're living in light. We're living in darkness, and then we're living in light. You know, I was talking with my son the other day. Oh, look at this beautiful tree. It's so fabulous. It's bearing this beautiful flower, and it smells good, and it's beautiful. And then it's full of thorns and thistles, because we are in a world of good and wickedness. What the world calls the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We are all partakers of the knowledge of good and evil, whether we want to or not. So until the sons of light overcome the sons of darkness, darkness is still upon the world. It is getting worse and worse and worse. Okay? This is what God is. I don't know why this is way over here. A creator, ruler of the universe, source of mortal authority, or a supreme being. Anyways, that king was over here with the gods of ancient Egypt. That's what a god is to them. A supreme ruler or being. Well, it's not the creator. It's not the perfect pure one. Anyways, that kind of threw me off. Why is that in there? I should have gone through that more. So, that's that, guys. That's why that's there. Because I didn't click out of it. But anyways, that is it. So we've got a world of great darkness right now, no law and no light. There's not a lot left to say, guys. We know that the darkness is coming. We've experienced darkness. The people are growing, waxing into darkness, as Yahuah said. The people are waxing deeper and deeper into darkness. There's no love. There's a little love, not a lot. There's no real joy, shalom. The wicked words, happy. Have you ever been really, truly happy? And for how long? Without a bunch of money. Like, it's hard. We're living in the last generation. We need to get as close to the Creator as possible. What is it that's gonna scare you straight? What is it that's gonna get you out of this darkness and into light? The great darkness coming is a sign from Yahuah that the law is not in the land and the inhabitants don't deserve the light. So that's that, guys. No law, no light. Hope you enjoyed the video. Shalom.